Previously on Game of Rewon.
Welcome back. If you have fried dopamine receptors just like me, I sincerely apologize for this longer video. Good news, however, no tournament in this video at all. And thanks for helping me reach 40 subscribers. Let's hit 50. Means the world to me. Alright, enjoy. Playing the Game of Thrones? Those ambitions are way too high for me. I am but a loyal servant of the crown, my lady. No nefarious intentions whatsoever.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device. Sometimes foreshadowing is relatively obvious.
I shall now proceed to do some method voice acting, finally having achieved mastery and versatility in this noble craft after 8 videos and a 1-month break. I am Cersei Lannister of the Baratheon, Joffrey. We serve the Lord of Castellary Rock. I pass by the ruins of Castamere often as a reminder of my place.
Disgusting shit.
That actually explains a lot about the Lannisters' cloud-seeding obsession. Seeing as Tywin, the ruler of Westeros in all but name and title, drowned a whole family locked inside of their keep.
I am under the water. Please help me. Here too much raining.
A man whose war crimes make mine look like the work of a toddler.
With not a soul to hear.
I still have so much left to learn if I am to become a ruthless schizo-bearded king to unite all of Westeros. Also, why is Cersei collecting dirt pots on her balcony? I asked Sam, the closest thing we have to a maester, and his theory was that she was a pedo. His words, not mine. Short for pedologist. My personal theory, however, is that she is either researching ways to poison the peasants' crops or on the new widespread dirt diet popularized in Essos for its low-cost and nutritious ecosystem. Each bite containing a vast variety of savory bugs, worms, and healthy bacteria for the stomach.
Crispy.
However, it seems the Lannisters respected me. Cersei having heard of my prominence in contributing to an orphan and widow-based economy throughout both Westeros and Essos. No sympathy whatsoever, and I thought I was cold. Sadly, Rewon's attempt at tavern stand-up comedy missed its mark on the upper class.
Thanks for sharing, I guess.
Furthermore, trying to negotiate with her was pointless, as she was not the head of the family, leaving Rewon forced to track down Tywin or Joffrey if he was to strike a deal. Upon leaving, a party came riding towards King's Landing, proving to be Tommen Baratheon. Rewon taking pity on the man, not having survived till the age of 20 and already a victim of the global baldness epidemic, being a 2 on the Norwood scale. Taking his leave, Rewon soon spotted one of his targets, approaching. Tywin bragged about serving the Lord of Castellary Rock, which in this case would be Sir Donor Seltcliffe of the Ironborn. Oh, how low the mighty have fallen. Desperate, Tywin offered to marry off someone called Genna to Elliot. Rewon of course refusing, since marrying so shortly after his heartbreak would be utterly cruel. God damn it, I said no, stop marriage sniping Elliot, please. Not achieving any results so far, Rewon decided to head back to King's Landing, managing to intercept Joffrey on the way. Whole family around these parts, is there a Lannister convention around here? A Approaching the king, it was clear he was frail, Rewon almost believing the rumors circling about him being inbred. Until he spoke, with the most masculine voice Rewon had ever heard.
It's been a while.
Beating all accusations of not being born by the demon of the trident. Spending countless hours gaslighting him about how good, noble and righteous of a king he was. Rewon soon managed to persuade him to marry off his unwed sister Myrcella to Elliot. Sorry, but we all have to make sacrifices for my personal gain.
I hate you so much, you're the worst.
And we just acquired our royal hostage and became bankrupt. Perhaps we can write this off as an investment. Dear Lord, forgive me for what I have done. I feel so bad for her. Look at that size difference. This is really absurd. She's really eyeing something up though, ayo? You might wonder why there are two of me, but that's my doppelganger. Don't feel like getting poisoned today. It's actually quite the common practice. I mean, look at Joffrey, he also has his own. And just like that, Noblitus got an official claim to the Iron Throne. Once a male heir is produced, that is... Oh god, let's not think about that. Celebrating by getting Dick Crab back as the crime kingpin of King's Landing and watching some people do the wipe challenge.
Wipe it then. Wipe.
And that's the harsh reality. These crayon-eating rag sniffers don't deserve democracy, but a strong king, like me. Having finished up his business in the capital, it was time for Rewon to tackle his own marriage, as he still hadn't seen Melisandre since their wedding, opting for a medieval long-distance situationship, as some would call it. Heading towards Storm's End, Rewon leveled up his leadership from all the wedding planning, still not preparing him for what to come. As each minute felt like an hour, Rewon started feeling nervous to meet his wife. I mean, Stannis had basically forced him to marry her right before he lost the Battle of the Blackwater. Now Rewon was confused. Was he to be the Lord of Light's new champion, Melisandre being his personal spiritual guide in this grand destiny, or just a pawn in the bigger schemes of Stannis? As dawn turned to dusk and then dawn once more, he found himself at the doors of Storm's End. Immediately approached by a messenger. His face pale and voice trembling. "My lord, I bear despicable tidings," he stammered. "Robb Stark,
The king in the north!
has been murdered. The Freys and Boltons conspired with the backings of Tywin and murdered him in cold blood. As a welcomed guest, instantly the North and Riverlands are mere shadows of what they were, and the Westerlands are stronger than ever." Well, good thing I wasn't invited and totally forgot to crash their wedding. That might have gone sour real quick. Okay, now time for the different pre-written narrative arcs I can follow, written below. Do you aid what's left of the North to avenge this treachery? Do you stand with House Tully at Riverrun and fight off enemies from all angles? Do you just be opportunistic and capitalize from the chaos any way you can? What will you choose? Not sticking to the script, painting the North and the Riverlands as some oppressed heroes, of course written by the mod developers, Rewon knew his success would only come from learning from the best. The most cruel, cold and scheming man of Westeros, Tywin himself. As such, he set out to find him, much like a Sith apprentice, hoping to absorb all his master's teachings before devouring the very same hand that had fed him. But before that, Rewon still had to meet his wife, stepping into the warm keep of Storm's End. Finally arrived. Now I wonder where Melisandre could be hiding. Well, the Lord isn't home, so can't ask him. Good thing she has red hair and easily stands out in a crowd. Let's head upstairs. Actually starting to feel quite excited. He might just tell me I am a super special person and stuff. These goddamn stairs. I'm really becoming out of shape. I see her. Wait, isn't that...
Rewon is so weak, I am super famous musician. All taverns play my songs, Rewon not even king, haha. I really enjoyed our extremely romantic moment 5 minutes ago. Rewon should come soon, so let's act normal.
What is going on here? Am I getting two-timed by you, Elliot, of all people? Is this because you couldn't marry Daenerys? Some sick, cruel revenge on me? And you?
My husband.
Is that all you have to say? Why are you all standing in this corner? Are you two also in on this? You know what? I am filing for divorce. This is the most shocking moment of 2025. I mean 301. Really? Wow. You are the worst. Now my Lord of Light story arc is cancelled. Are you happy with my misery? My hope, aspirations, and purity of heart forever vanquished on this very day?
Yes, now life is best for me and worst for you. So fair.
Whatever, I didn't even like her anyways. Somewhat heartbroken, Rewon fled back to King's Landing, managing to catch a glimpse of Bronn's caravan doing some trading. Arriving in the great city and meeting Elliot's brother-in-law, Joffrey, Rewon decided to give him a hug for no apparent reason, sadly not managing to make him smile. 2 out of 10, wholesome. Afterwards, he ran into his mother-in-law, Cersei, who had heard about Dick Crabb's takeover of Sleepy Prunella's territory. And why do you know this? Oh, scary lady. Traveling north, Rewon, now a bachelor, once more, proceeded to be spammed by ravens containing marriage offers, this time from the thickest lord he previously had stumbled into during his travels. That's gonna be a hard pass for me. All was not so bad, however, as Timothy Kenning's facial hair truly inspired Rewon on his journey to gangstalk Tywin to Rook's Nest. Where he couldn't enter as he apparently was what society deemed a wanted criminal. A label cast on those on the verge of a major breakthrough. In total contrast to what I would call an entrepreneur and peacekeeper across both Westeros and Essos. As any unemployed and normal person would, Rewon proceeded to sit outside, naturally starving to death, and wait for Tywin to leave the keep. Finally being able to speak with him alone.
My greetings.
Signing up as a mercenary for the Lannisters, with a meager pay of 100 gold per enemy slain, which, considering that half of Westeros was at war with them, was quite cheap. But once again, Rewon didn't do this for wealth, but for the learning experience, now literally being in the thick of it. Tywin's War Crime Academy, that is. Rewon's first lesson was to come shortly after, spotting his first official noble Riverland party, led by Merritt.
That's close enough now. Who are you?
Rewon, now no longer staying neutral in world politics, only having fought petty bandits before, was in for a real battle, the difference between a bandit and a noble being higher tier troops, thus increasing the risk, but at the same time, so did the reward. In this case, however, it was Rewon's lucky day, as he outnumbered his enemy 3 times. Leading to a decisive victory, as every man was put to the sword, except Merritt, now my prisoner. Shortly after, Rewon got the opportunity to prove his worth again, deciding to raid the poorly protected village of Briarwhite, decreasing its prosperity and by extension its owners' tax revenue, by taking all their goods and livestock. Provided their poor peasant militia of 36 men didn't pose a challenge. Spoiler, they didn't. Now, if you were to brand me a cruel and immoral rotten person for this action, you would not be alone, as the game instantly removed Rewon's merciful trait. And a companion, can you guess who? No, not the cowman this time, but had qualms about raiding farms, his family and friends apparently also being farmers. No worries though, as Rewon simply lied to his face. I will consider this when taking such actions in the future, I promise. Rewon's third lesson came short thereafter, running into the epitome of greed, cowardice, and baldness himself, Janos Slint, commander of King's Landing's City Watch. Together they decided to engage the Tattered Prince, a mercenary hired by the Riverlands.
Stop there, mate. So, you might want to tell me your name before we cross swords.
I'm not your mate, goddammit. Go back to Australia. This is Westeros. Who, in this case, was outmatched 2-1. Janos, let's do this, Slint? Ah, looks like we are alone. The gold cloaks can't be trusted. Yet again. I will remember this. Janos had betrayed him, appearing to be within reinforcement range, but not actually joining the battle. Rewon, not knowing what he was facing, confidently drew up his normal battle plans, consisting of a shield wall protecting his archers, while Elliot led the cavalry protecting the flanks. However, Rewon soon realized he was against pretty much exclusively armored elite cavalrymen, harassing him using Mongol tactics, charging from all angles whilst picking out lone warriors in his ranks. In an attempt to salvage the situation, Rewon formed his men into a circle, trying to protect his archers, which appeared to be working for a while, the Golden Company being fine spearmen. Everyone fought bravely, except for Elliot, who due to some mysterious reason decided to stand still for the whole fight, leaving his comrades to die. Another rebellious phase, huh? Soon only one and Hodor remained, and the never-ending horde of cavalry had won the day. Noblitus in shambles. But Rewon had won something he had not given his name to someone who called him mate, and that was a victory in itself. And that is how Game of Rewon ends. Please subscribe, comment and like the video if you enjoyed this original web series. Had it not been for the fact that save scumming exists. I still have at least 20 episodes left to milk for content. Don't you worry. But this time Rewon threatened Janos to join, whilst adapting his previous experience and learned tactics, totally shifting the tide of battle in his favor. That's unlucky. Taking his war spoils back to King's Landing, he complemented his base salary of 100 gold with some acquired loot. Realizing why Tywin was so rich, as he was in the business of redistributing assets from formerly alive people, now lacking any owner or inheritors. The spoils of war could then be sold to any law-abiding merchant, instead of having to steal, sell it to a middleman, who then proceeds to pocket some of the money and sell it to the market on your behalf. Legal fencing, in other words, without being called a criminal. Wow! Commission-based war crimes, I see it now, it all makes sense. Rewon's next lesson was in siegecraft, as he was instructed to aid in the siege of Harrenhal, one of the key castles in controlling the Riverlands. Upon arrival, the odds were certainly in their favor, outnumbering the defenders 4-1. Despite that, it did not take long for Rewon to learn the strength of defense, being under fire from catapults, having to batter 2 gates down, the other whilst dodging rocks and arrows from murder holes above, one receiving the sharp end of about 20 rocks. Average giant warfare, I guess.
1-1 love rock. Give more.
Kept on breaking the gate with his humongous club. Soon enough, the inner gate was breached, and the real battle for Harrenhal ensued. The defenders holding the gate as a choke point, proving very effective. Elliot, pushing through with his immense size, soon found himself surrounded behind enemy lines, pushed into a corner and repeatedly hit by shorter men.
Step bro, I am stuck, help me please.
Ending up falling asleep. The cowman on the other hand sniped enemies from the back.
This is a good angle, yes.
Littlefinger hiding? No surprise there. Sir Hutojo, he disappeared early in the fighting, but my guess would be he snuck in during the fighting and is currently ransacking Harrenhal's tavern for all its alcohol.
I know you are hiding the real stash. Heck, I need it all now.
Speaking of sneaking in, it seems Max failed his stealth check and was spotted sneaking below the defenders at the breach. Bad luck, but at least you are fighting.
Coming through!
Unlike Theon, Sam, Hodor and Brienne AFKing in the back, whilst the main force soon overran the outnumbered defenders. Hodor personally aiding in seizing the walls, marking the end of the siege. In the aftermath, everyone was close to death, but hey, we gained a lot of prisoners, grateful allies and worthless loot, as Rewon once again was gatekept, in this case from sacking the castle and its riches due to not being in charge of the siege. Infuriated, Rewon proceeded to melt all weapons he had acquired for experience points in smithing. Setting out again, Mace Tyrell tried to entice him into joining the Reach, but Rewon stayed strong, never forgetting his former hospitality. Back in action, Rewon soon found a large festive event going on in the fields led by Tommen Baratheon, happily lending a hand to the already winning side. Managing to make Tommen smile, unlike his brother, who was now apparently dead. Looks like his doppelganger must have been sick during the wedding. It also seems like people are blaming the imp, Tyrion Lannister, for the murder. My hands are clean, I promise. Shortly thereafter, word reached him about Stannis heading up to the wall, to Eastwatch by the Sea, apparently aiding the Night's Watch defense against whatever they were fighting beyond the wall. But what hurt him most was the fact that Melisandre apparently had already returned to his side, now burning some prisoners in his honor. These
Ehrloa. Some say it also as Reholoa.
maidens ain't loyal. Blackmailing a weaker foe for 5,895 gold to avoid capture. More fighting.
Enough. You win today.
And tomorrow and the day after that, stay mad. Rewon then decided to help his master in the siege of Derry, after first patiently waiting like a rat for the odds to be more favorable. I arrived right on time. Yeah, no worries, I have learned from the best. Well, I'll be off with my loot. See ya! Upon reviewing the kingdom, Rewon realized there were a lot of houses within just a single kingdom, and that's only counting one kingdom. And that Joffrey, now being physically unavailable, made Cersei personally holder of the titles for King's Landing, Harrenhal, Storm's End and more. As such, Rewon did the only thing he's good at, deciding to break into her personal bedchamber, sadly not finding any dirt on her. And so he tried to marry her, being utterly denied despite the mod Marry Anyone. Instead spending the night grinding smithing, leveling up and crafting horrendous weapons. A lot worse than the blueprint. And as a final touch, a tournament in the Vale. I lied. Sorry for not including one sooner. I know you all love this content. Congratulations on reaching the end of the video. That's some serious dedication. If you enjoy my content and want to help me afford my starter plan for 11 Labs, please check out my newly formed Patreon, link below. Big thanks.
See you in the next game of Rewon.
Certified Rewon.